Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. We are continuing this series where I am reviewing the Battle Spirit Saga starter decks with starter deck 3. This is going to be the white starter deck. So if you are a white Suprem... Wait, no, hold on a minute, that's something else. Anyway, let's go ahead and discuss the white starter deck. By the way, if you have not checked out my other starter reviews, please do check those out as well. We begin with the X-Rare Divine Moonsky Beast Fanatec Elk. Glad to see these excessively long names, as are pretty much tradition in Japanese card games, are absolutely hanging around. So, when the spirit blocks at any level, during this turn, the spirit cannot be destroyed by your opponent's destruction effects or as the result of battle, and it cannot have its cause removed by your opponent's effects. So this is basically immunity to purple, to red, to all that sort of stuff. You can bounce it. And you can delete it, though obviously you can't remove cores from it. So you can delete it in the sense it gets around the destruction, but there's no way to actually remove cores off it. So unless you've done that somehow before it actually blocks, then it doesn't really matter. Also, this is a this ability triggers when the spirit blocks, so I think after it blocks, it is then immune. I think for the entire turn, because it doesn't say during this block, it just says during this turn, so it will last. And then, level 2 and level 3, end of opponent's turn, if you did not lose life this turn, place one core from your opponent's life into their trash. That is incredibly powerful. A phenomenally powerful effect, obviously balanced by the fact that you need to not take any damage. So if your opponent gets through even one attack, then you're fine. But this clearly sets this deck up as a wall deck where you just don't take hits, burn your opponent down, win the game. This is a kind of playstyle I really do enjoy, and I will absolutely be playing this deck. I think this is really, really scary. And the fact that, you know, you can just build this guy up to be 10k just sitting there is quite nice. But it also doesn't matter because it doesn't need to be big. It can't be destroyed by battle. So you just can chuck it in at level 1, and then when you want to start smashing your opponent with it, then you can bump it up, but you probably don't even need to. Then we got level 2, our number 2 card here, Grey Garm. So this is a 4 with 2 cost reductions. At all levels, armor, red and white. So red and white basically cannot touch this card. And this is this effective armor is something we're going to see a lot more in white. But we see it kind of all over the place. But yeah, this is a really, really good effect. And then level 2 and level 3, when it blocks, it gains 3k BP during turn. So at level 1, it is a 5k blocker. 5k is pretty big. That like is out, you know, that's bigger than a lot of vanillas at just that 1 core level. At level 2, you're only getting 1k more than that. And at level 3, you are getting 2k more, but you're having to put on 1 core for every k of power you're gaining here. But a 3-2 that is a 3-5 blocker in a deck that really likes blocking. Sorry, a 4-5 sorry, a 4-3 that becomes a 4-6. Maths is really difficult. Is very, very good in a deck that loves blocking. I think this is a really, really good card. Then we have got Mechatress. This is a 4 with 1 cost reduction. When summoned, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You may place any number of them at the bottom of the deck in any order, and then return any remaining cards to the top of your deck in any order. So this is Scry 2. This is good, as you might imagine. And then at level 2, when the spirit blocks for only 1 or more, select one of your opponent's spirits that costs 2 or fewer and return it to their hand. How often is that going to matter? Depends. Obviously very good against yellow. Yellow does a lot of stuff with their 2, so you're making, you know, that's going to suck for your opponent if they've invested like a large amount of anything into that. But 2 is so cheap where it's just like, I don't know. This does seem it's really, really good against yellow. This is the main thing where like you just keep bouncing stuff they're putting resources into, disrupting their game plan. So this is going to be one of those things where if yellow becomes very popular, or is even a remotely large part of the meta, you're going to be playing this guy in your deck absolutely. And it has a very powerful when summoned effect as well. So you kind of probably want to be playing this guy anyway. Though I will say, right, like it is a little bit expensive for a Scry 2. Like, you know, you're paying 4, but you're paying 5, really, right? You're paying 3 with the cost reduction, then you want 2 on this to make it level 2 to get that effect. So it is a little bit expensive, but I do think it's a very, very good card. Okay, Mecha Wing Duck. This is a card that is potentially entirely broken or entirely garbage. So this is a 1 with 1 cost reduction, so you can just chuck it out for free. Obviously, it needs 1 core to stay alive. During your opponent's attack step, at any level, when one of your opponent's spirits returns to their hand or deck, place a core from the void onto this spirit. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, but then how do I get the cores, you know, off of that? Well, you just block with it, or you chuck it in and let your opponent clear it. This thing, if you get even one core off it, I think this is a really good card. But the potential there is here to get 2, 3, 4 cores of ramp on this card and have multiple, right? Because if you have 2 of this guy out, 1 card goes back, you're ramping 2, is nuts. And this scales so well, right? Where later on in the game, you can just be slamming these massive dudes, chucking huge amounts of cores onto them, making them impossible to deal with, or just having ridiculous interaction on your opponent's turn by being able to play your expensive flash speed events. This is a really, really good card, I think. I can't imagine this is not going to see play. It feels like it's really good. It might be a noob trap card, and as a noob, this might have successfully fulfilled that objective, but I don't know. I think this is pretty damn good. Then we've got Hollow Beast Glass Bear. This is the 3 with 1 reduction at level 1 or level 2. When the spirit blocks, place a core from the void onto the spirit if there is a soul core on it. Again, this seems really, really good. This is ramping as long as you commit your soul core to it. It's one of those things where you can play this at level 1 but put 2 cores onto it, so the second you block with it, it suddenly goes up to level 2 and it becomes a 4k blocker. That might mess your opponent up a little bit. Probably not worth the effort that requires, but you know, as just a body you can play down, get a block out of, ramp 1 when it blocks. It's pretty good. I think this is a really good card. You know, it's definitely like less. It's more consistent than the Duck, but it's less of a ceiling, right? Then we've got Mobile Golems. This is a 4 with 3 cost with 3 reductions, and it's that standard vanilla of a 2/4 or a 4/7. Then we've got Brontek. This is a This is a 5 with construction of 2. So this is a 4/5 or a 6/8. Then we have got Buffalonged Bill. So this is another really powerful card. This is 6 with 2 cost reductions. This is Giant Beast. When this spirit blocks, select one of your opponent's spirits to cost 5 or fewer and return it to hand. 5 or fewer? I don't know if you've noticed, that's most spirits in the game. So that is very, very powerful. And then at level 3, during your attack step, all of your spirits, when this spirit blocks effect, also activate when attacking. Right? So just from what we've seen so far, that means that this guy is going to be completely immune. This guy is going to get 3k. You're going to bounce one of your opponent's units. You can ramp. This seems quite good. And we know this is only going to get better come the main set. This seems really, really scary. Also, it's going to trigger its own effect to just start bouncing stuff. And, you know, 4 cores to make it level 3 isn't even that expensive. This is an 8 drop, right? As an 8/8. You ramp in white. You can just play that shit. And what the hell's your opponent going to do? Suddenly there's a Buffalong Bill out on the board because you had 8 cores, and they're going to be like, oh, well, shit. Guess I'm screwed. I love this card. I think it's so good. This might be a really powerful build around card as well, but it just seems very, very good. Okay, then we've got another vanilla. This is a 2/3 or a 4/6. Then we've got Ice Blader Bridget. This is a... I will say vanillas in white are relevant for a card. We'll see later. So this is a 5 with 2 cost reductions. Ice Blader Bridget. Ice Princess traded, so not a relevant trait there. When destroyed, if this has a soul core on it, select one of your opponent's spirits and return it to hand. Anything. So this is a really easy... I will say, you know, a 4/3 where you have to commit the soul core for this to be good. Little tough, but anyway. When the spirit blocks, for only 1 core more, select one of your opponent's spirits. That spirit will not refresh during the next refresh step. Now this, I think, is a lot more compelling. You invest just that 1 extra. So you're playing this for 5. It's a 5/5. Your opponent's probably going to be a little scared of a 5/5 while they can't start throwing anything into it. It has to be something reasonably big. Whatever they attacked with, if it's big enough that it doesn't destroy this, then you can just make sure it doesn't untap during their next refresh steps. They don't get to use it on the next turn. And this is going to be destroyed, so you can bounce whatever hell else your opponent has that's pretty big. Or if this isn't destroyed, well, you get to destroy whatever the hell your opponent just attacked with, and you get to stop something else from refreshing. I think this is potentially very, very powerful. We'll need to see, but it definitely strikes me as one of the cards that is going to be really annoying. Like, really, really annoying. Okay, then we've got Frosty Goddess Air. This is a 3 with 1 construction. When summoned, select one of your spirits with when this spirit blocks effects and place a core from the void onto it. So this is, again, more ramp. This is a 3 cost ramp. You're pretty much just going to be throwing this away as a blocker, because, or you know, just throwing it in as an attack or something. But I mean, you know, it's a 1k, so realistically you're going to save it as a blocker to get any kind of real value out of it, unless you're against red, which is probably just going to delete it. But you know, ramping 1 for 3, you are getting another body on board for cost reductions, and it is cheap enough that early game that probably is worth it. So that's nice, but it has some when the spirit blocks effect, and it's not like this card has one of those, so it can't just, you know, immediately do it. It'd be nice if this just put it onto itself. I think this would be a much better card. As it is, it seems okay. I do feel like it's going to get, you know, cut relatively fast from the lineup, just because that is a little bit too restrictive to be any good early on in the game. Then we've got Spring of Norn, our first Nexus. This is a 3 with 2 cost reductions, so potentially playing this out for 1. At level 1, during the opponent's attack step, at the start of the step, select one of your spirits with no effects listed and refresh it. Okay, untapping vanillas, for real cheap, by the way, at 1. And then at level 2, during the opponent's attack step, at the start of the step, refresh all your spirits with no effects listed. Oh my god, so now you're talking about swinging with literally your whole board and then just untapping them to block. These are vanillas. These are the biggest things in the game. By definition, they don't have effects, so they got stats. Potentially a very interesting route for white to go down here. This is completely built around. This is I really doubt this is going to just be something you can slot into a deck. It seems like this white starter has really got these kind of multiple builds for you to go down. One very much built around the X rare, making sure you don't take damage and doing all that. That could potentially work with the Buffalon Bill build, where you're abusing your when block effects. And then we've got this third build here, which is just vanilla beatdown. And all of them could be quite good. Okay, then we've got Heaven Piercing Castle as a 4 with 2 reduction. At level 1 and level 2 during the opponent's turn, when your opponent draws outside of their draw step, you can pay a Soul Core to draw a card. Not bad. You're not using a Soul Core for a massive amount at the moment, so potentially this is worth it, so just keep up. At level 2 during attack step, when the spirit blocks effect attacks, you may place up to 2 cores from your trash onto it. Interesting. Potentially just getting a little level up there. I feel like I really need to experiment with this card and test it. It is nice that you can... it is nice that you can, I believe, yeah, pay the Soul Core and then just immediately put that on something else. If something else has a Soul Core effect, then that might trigger, I think, if you get to choose the order. So that could be nice, and we'll need to check the detailed rules on that, so don't quote me. But yeah, this could be interesting. It doesn't strike me as anything super, super broken, but definitely could be quite good. And Nexuses in this game just generally seem to provide very, very powerful effects. Then we've got Holy Elixir. Oh my god, this card. Okay. This, in the starters, is probably the best card in the game. 4 with 1 reduction. Burst, when your opponent revolves a spirit when summoned effect. Now look, guys. Can I just say, as a card game veteran of about 10 years, the #1 effect card game players love, when summoned, on entry, when this enters play, however you want to call it, when you put the card down onto the board, it does something. Why? Immediate value. You don't have to wait. You don't have to give your opponent a chance to interrupt. It's just going to give you something. Place 2 cores from the void into your trash. And then you get to use the flash effect, which is select 2 of your spirits and refresh them. Selected spirits cannot attack during this turn, so you do this during your opponent's turn, obviously. You know, I guess, you know, it's possible your opponent's going to put something in on your turn, but yeah, do this during your opponent's turn, and you get 2 more blockers. That's fine. This is a ramp 2, which if you get off early game, holy crap, that is game swinging. Also, there's no deck building restrictions in terms of color in this game. If you don't give a shit about the flash effect, and you're happy to just bank on this working, this could be a very easy 4-of in a lot of different colors, right? Like, I know other colors don't care so much about ramping, but fundamentally, having more cores to just put onto your stuff and level it up is just better. Being able to play your spirits from your hand and just chuck them at a higher level, so they're just doing more when you play them, is just better. Leveling up your board is just better, right? This is 2 cores fundamentally you can just spend leveling up your board. Doesn't need to do anything super crazy. You don't have to necessarily be putting it in the end, but yeah, and obviously the fact, if you do this, like, twice, that's nuts. But even once, this seems like, you know, it's accelerating you 2 turns. It's like taking 2 life, but then if you take that 2 life as well, what? That's a 4-core difference. This seems really, really powerful. I might be overhyping this, but I don't know, as just generic ramp that it's for free, with a condition that I imagine come the main set is going to be so prevalent, seems really good. It's going to be one of those things where if you see your opponent set a burst card, you're going to be like, damn, am I really going to let them ramp too? Because there's good odds that that's what it is. Then we've got Dream Bomb. This is a 5 with 2 reduction. Burst when you lose life. Select one of your opponent's nexuses and return it to their hand. then you can activate the card's cost 2 active splash effect. Select one of your opponent's spirits and return to their hands. So this is a bounce 2 when you lose life. This seems really good as well. This does, like, you know, everything White wants to do, right? It's bouncing, it's bouncing, it's defense, it's so good. Obviously, the counter synergy here is this is when you lose life, but obviously you don't want to be losing life with Fantac Elf, but I think that's fine because, I mean, ultimately, you know, if you're losing life, you're clearly in quite a bad position. It might just be worth taking it as well, just to remove a really problematic Nexus. Like, this is potentially, and you know, it's any spirit, which is potentially such incredible value, and you could play this for only 3, right? Like with 2 cost reductions. I think this is really, really good. Gonna have to test it again, but it just seems very, very powerful to me. And obviously, just as a generic thing, 3 to just bounce something is very strong as well. Very, very strong. And then we've got Protection Aura as a 4 with 2 reductions. If it's your opponent's turn, all your spirits gain 3 KBP during this turn. If you've got a wide board, this is really annoying. Red's Nightmare. You can do it at flash speed as well, which means I believe if your opponent's trying to delete one of your, trying to destroy one of your like smaller things, you can just make it big and suddenly their effect does nothing, which is quite nice as well. Yeah, overall impressions on this white starter deck, it looks really, really good to me. I'm super excited, doing the bouncing, doing the annoying defending. It's got ramp. Yeah, this is absolutely one of the decks I'm most excited for. White and purple are the big ones I'm going to be going ham on come release of this fantastic game. No, obviously red and yellow not too far behind. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. 80% of my viewers are not subscribed, which means I basically have like 5,000 subs, which would be pretty cool. Number go up, make me feel good, but I'm so close to 2,000, so just subscribe to the channel and really let me hit that milestone. That would be really nice. Subscribe to the channel as well, because I'm going to be making lots more Battle Spirit Saga content. If you have not seen the previous deck reviews, please do check those out, and look forward to the yellow starter deck review coming out soon. As well, at the time of this recording, I should have been putting out lots of videos about the card reveals, so please do watch those as well, because man, there's some spicy shit in those. If you play One Piece or Lorcana or Gate Ruler, or will be playing Lorcana when that comes out. Anyway, if you are interested in any of those, subscribe to the channel as well, because I make videos on those as well. That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.